Welcome to Unseen Scars, a place where hidden pain finds a voice and real stories rise from the shadows. These are journeys of struggle, survival, and strength, because behind every scar, there is a story that must be told. Today's story is about a promise that was never made, a question that was never asked, and a love that was forced to become a memory. This is the engagement ring that never left the drawer. Let's start the story in his own words. I don't know why I'm sharing this. It's 2:17 a.m. The city is finally quiet. It's the kind of quiet that's so loud it hurts. I haven't slept properly in, I don't know, months. 6 months and 3 days, to be exact. And tonight, I did the stupid thing. The thing I tell myself I won't do. I opened my sock drawer. It's right at the back, tucked under a bunch of mismatched athletic socks I never wear. A small, dark blue velvet box. It feels heavier than it should. Or maybe my hand is just weak. I opened it. The tiny little light inside still works. I remember the guy at the jeweler's, this old man with kind eyes, telling me, "The light makes the moment." What a joke. What moment? The diamond is still perfect. It catches the dim light from my bedside lamp and throws tiny little rainbows onto my ceiling. It's a beautiful ring. Simple, elegant, exactly her style. I spent 3 months picking it out, 6 months saving for it, and it spent the last 6 months living in my sock drawer. Her name was Maya. God, it even hurts to type it. Was. Past tense. Like she's gone. She's not dead. She's married. To someone else. I saw the pictures on Facebook before I finally got the courage to block her. Her whole family. Everyone. A digital amputation. It didn't stop the phantom limb pain, though. I guess I just need to get this out. Put it somewhere other than the inside of my own skull. Maybe some stranger on the internet will read this and tell me I'm an idiot, or that it'll get better. I don't know if I'd believe them, but it feels better than just screaming into my pillow again. We met 3 years ago. It's such a cliche, it's embarrassing. I was at this little independent coffee shop downtown. The one with the rickety tables and the amazing scones. I was trying to get some freelance design work done, laptop open, headphones on, trying to look like a serious creative professional. And then she stumbled. She was carrying 2 lattes, her arms full of books, and she tripped over the leg of a chair. The lattes went flying, right onto me, right onto my brand new, stupidly expensive laptop. I should have been furious. I mean, hot coffee, fried electronics, it's a recipe for rage. But I looked up from the milky disaster on my keyboard and just saw her. She had this look of absolute horror on her face. Her eyes were huge and dark, and her mouth was a perfect O of shock. Coffee was dripping from her hair, and all I could think was, wow. She started apologizing, a frantic waterfall of words. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so clumsy, I'll pay for it, I'll pay for the cleaning, your laptop. Oh my God, your laptop." I just started laughing. I don't know why. Maybe it was the shock. I told her it was fine, that the laptop had been on its last legs anyway, a total lie, and that I was more worried about her. She looked like she was about to cry. So I did the only thing I could think of. I asked her if she wanted to get a coffee sometime to make up for the 2 she just sacrificed to the floor. She stared at me for a second, then a slow smile spread across her face, and that was it. That was the moment my life split into a before and an after. Her smile, it was like the sun coming out. Our first date was a week later. we met for that coffee. It lasted for 5 hours. We talked about everything and nothing. Her family, who she was incredibly close with, her dream of being a pediatrician, my stupid art school stories, our favorite movies, the way we both hated cilantro. It was so easy. It felt less like getting to know someone and more like remembering them. From that day on, we were inseparable. My life just made room for her. My tiny apartment was suddenly full of her things. Her ridiculously large collection of scented candles, her stack of medical textbooks that I couldn't even lift, her toothbrush, a bright pink one sitting next to mine in the bathroom. It felt so right. The first time she stayed the night, I remember waking up at like 3 a.m., and she was there, asleep next to me, breathing softly, and I had this overwhelming feeling, this wave of pure certainty that I was going to marry this woman. It wasn't a question. It was just a fact. Like the sun rising in the morning. It was just what was going to happen. We built a life in those 3 years. A small, perfect, ordinary life. We had our routines. Sunday mornings were for the farmer's market, followed by brunch at this greasy spoon diner called the Blue Plate. She always got the pancakes. I always got the omelet. We knew the waitress, a gruff, older woman named Flo, by name. We adopted a cat, a little orange terror we named Cheeto. We argued about stupid things, like how to load the dishwasher correctly. My way was better, for the record. And whose turn it was to take out the recycling. We celebrated promotions and comforted each other after bad days at work. Her family was a big part of her life. They were traditional, from a culture where family ties are everything. I loved that about her. I loved how her face would light up when she talked about her little cousins or the huge holiday dinners they'd have. I went to a few of them. Her parents were polite to me, a little distant, maybe, but I figured that was normal. I was the outsider, this white guy, my first name is my last name kind of guy, dating their daughter. I thought I just needed to put in the time, show them I was serious, show them I loved her. I remember her mom once said to me, over a table loaded with food I couldn't pronounce, "It's good, Maya is having fun." Fun. It was such a strange word to use. Like I was a hobby, a phase she was going through before real life began. Maya just squeezed my hand under the table and smiled, and I forgot all about it. I was a fool. I see that now. I was so blissfully, stupidly naive. I thought our love was enough. I thought it was its own country with its own laws, and that no one else could touch it. About a year ago, the pressure started. It was subtle at first. Comments from her aunts. "When are you going to find a nice boy from our community, Maya?" Questions about some distant cousin's son who was a doctor in California. She'd laugh it off. She'd roll her eyes when she told me about it. "They're just old-fashioned," she'd say. "They'll come around. Once they really get to know you, they'll love you." I believed her. I wanted to believe her. But the comments didn't stop. They got more frequent. The phone calls from her parents became longer, and she'd come away from them looking tired and sad. She started getting quiet. Sometimes I'd find her just staring out the window with this look on her face I couldn't read. When I'd ask her what was wrong, she'd just shake her head and force a smile. Just tired, long day at the hospital. I should have pushed harder. I should have seen that it was more than that. But I was scared. I think a part of me knew if I pulled on that thread, the whole thing might unravel. So I did what cowards do. I pretended not to see it. I just loved her harder. I'd cook her favorite dinner, or surprise her with tickets to a concert, or just hold her and tell her everything was going to be okay.
I thought I could love her so much that it would build a wall around us and keep all the other noise out. That's when I decided to buy the ring. I thought if I just made it official, if I put a ring on her finger, it would make it real for her family. It would be a statement. This isn't fun. This is forever. I wouldn't be the white boyfriend anymore. I'd be the fiancé. They'd have to take me seriously then. They'd have to see that she had made her choice. So I started saving. I took on extra projects, worked late nights. Every dollar I put away felt like a brick in the wall I was building around us. I spent weeks secretly looking at rings online. I learned the difference between a princess cut and a cushion cut. I knew she wanted something classic, nothing too flashy. I finally found the one. It was perfect. I went to the jeweler during my lunch break, my heart pounding in my chest. Handing over my credit card felt like signing the most important contract of my life. I picked it up on a Friday. I remember walking out of the store with the little blue box in my jacket pocket, feeling like I was carrying a nuclear warhead. I had a whole plan. I was going to take her to the botanical gardens where we had our third date. I was going to get down on one knee by the big weeping willow tree next to the pond. I had a whole speech written out in my head. I was going to do it that Sunday. But on Saturday, she called me. Her voice was weird, flat. She said she needed to talk. She was at her parents' house and asked if I could come over. I thought maybe she was going to tell them about us, about our future. Maybe she was paving the way for my proposal. I drove over there feeling nervous but excited. When I got there, only her parents were in the living room. They looked grim. They didn't offer me tea. They didn't even really smile. They asked me to sit down. Her father, a man who had barely said 10 words to me in 3 years, did all the talking. He told me that they had been talking to Maya about her future, about her responsibilities. He said that they had found a suitable match for her, a man from a good family, a successful engineer. He said that Maya had agreed, that the arrangements were being made. I just sat there. I think my brain just short-circuited. I couldn't process the words. It felt like he was speaking a foreign language. I looked at her mom, who just stared at her hands in her lap. I kept waiting for the punchline, for Maya to jump out and say it was all a horrible joke. Then I heard her coming down the stairs. I stood up, my heart hammering. I thought, okay, here she is. She's going to tell them no. She's going to tell them they're crazy. She's going to take my hand and we're going to walk out of this insane asylum together. She walked into the room. Her eyes were red and puffy. She wouldn't look at me. She just stood by the doorway, hugging herself. Maya? I said. My voice sounded small. She finally looked at me, and her expression, it will haunt me for the rest of my life. It was empty. All the light was gone. She said, "Alex, I'm sorry. They're right. It's for the best." For the best.
3 years of love, of life, of plans, of inside jokes and lazy Sundays and whispered I love yous in the dark. All of it, erased in a single sentence. It's for the best. I don't really remember what happened next. I think I started yelling, or maybe I was just pleading. I don't know. I was looking at her, begging her with my eyes to just give me a sign, just a flicker of the woman I loved. But there was nothing, just this hollowed-out shell. Her father stood up and said it was time for me to leave. I drove home. I don't remember the drive. I could have run over a dozen people. I wouldn't have known. I walked into our apartment. Her stuff was still everywhere. Her stupid scented candle was on the coffee table. Her textbook was open on the kitchen counter. Her pink toothbrush was in the bathroom.
It was like a museum of a life that had just ended. The ring was in my jacket pocket. I took it out and just stared at it. The little light came on, the diamond sparkled. I started laughing. This hysterical, unhinged sound that didn't feel like it was coming from me. I laughed until I was on the floor, gasping for breath with tears streaming down my face. The next day, 2 of her brothers came by with a U-Haul. They packed up all her things. They were efficient, cold. They didn't speak to me. I just sat on the couch and watched them erase her from my apartment. They took the candles and the books and the toothbrush. They even took the half-empty carton of almond milk from the fridge because it was hers. In under an hour, it was like she had never been here at all. The only thing they left behind was a ghost. And the ring, of course. They didn't know about the ring. The first few weeks are a blur. I drank a lot. I didn't eat. I called in sick to work. My friends tried to help me. They brought me food I didn't touch. They told me all the usual things. You dodged a bullet. Her family are monsters. She didn't deserve you. You'll find someone better. I know they meant well, but it didn't help because they didn't understand. I didn't want someone better. I wanted her. The Maya from before. The one who spilled coffee on my laptop. The one who laughed at my dumb jokes. The one who fell asleep on my chest while we watched movies. Where did she go? Did her parents murder her and replace her with his ghost? Or was she never really there at all? Was I in love with a person who didn't exist? That's the question that keeps me up at night. Was it all a lie? Did she ever really love me? Or was I just fun? A temporary diversion before she went off to live the life that was chosen for her. I go over every memory, every conversation, looking for clues I missed. I dissect every I love you. Was it real? Or was it just something to say? I did the pathetic thing. I stalked her social media. I tortured myself with it. About a month after it happened, her relationship status changed to engaged. There were pictures. Her and him. He looks fine. A normal-looking guy. They're smiling. Her family is in the pictures, all of them beaming. They look so happy. And Maya, she's smiling too, but it's not her real smile. I know her real smile. I've spent 3 years memorizing it. The one in the pictures doesn't reach her eyes. Or maybe I'm just telling myself that. Maybe I'm just seeing what I want to see, because the alternative is too painful to accept. The alternative is that she's happy, that she moved on that easily, that our 3 years meant nothing. I finally blocked everyone 2 months ago. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. It felt like admitting defeat, like I was finally letting her go. But I haven't let her go. Not really, because the ring is still here. My friends tell me to sell it. Get your money back, man. Go on a trip. Buy a motorcycle. Anything. I know they're right. It's a stupid amount of money to have sitting in a sock drawer. It's a constant, painful reminder. Every time I open that drawer, I feel it. Its weight, its presence. But I can't. Selling it feels like selling the last piece of us. It feels like admitting it's really, truly over. As long as I have the ring, a tiny, insane part of my brain whispers that maybe she'll change her mind. Maybe she'll realize she made a mistake and she'll show up out my door crying, telling me it was all a horrible mistake and she fought for me, but they didn't listen. And I'll have the ring. I'll be ready. How pathetic is that? I'm 30 years old. I'm a grown man waiting for a woman who got married 2 months ago to leave her husband and come back to me. I sound like a crazy person. I feel like a crazy person. I don't understand how you can just turn love off like a switch, How you can go from planning a future with someone one day to being strangers the next. How you can erase 3 years of a shared life because your parents told you to. I can't hate her. I've tried. I've tried to be angry, to call her a coward, and sometimes I am. Late at night, the anger comes. I get angry at her for not fighting, for not choosing me, for not choosing us.
But then I just feel sad. I think about the impossible position she was in, the immense pressure, the guilt, the lifetime of cultural expectation. Maybe in her own way, she was being brave. Maybe it was easier for her to break my heart than to break her entire family's. Maybe she thought she was saving me from a life of conflict and disapproval. Maybe she did it for me. Or maybe I'm just making up stories to make myself feel better, to make it hurt less. It's not working. So the ring stays in the drawer. A tiny, sparkling monument to a future that never happened. A testament to a love that I thought was strong enough to conquer anything, but was broken by a quiet conversation in a suburban living room. I just closed the velvet box. The little light went out. The rainbows on the ceiling are gone. I'm going to put it back now, under the socks. And tomorrow, I'll get up and I'll go to work. And I'll pretend that I'm fine. I'll pretend that I'm moving on. And maybe one day I won't have to pretend anymore. But not today. I don't know what I'm looking for by posting this. Advice? Sympathy? I don't know. I guess I just wanted to tell someone the full story. To prove that it was real. That we were real. That this beautiful, perfect ring wasn't just for nothing. It was for her. It's still for her. Thanks for letting me vent it all out here, if you made it this far. Sorry for the wall of text. It's just a lot for me. Thank you for sharing this story with us, Alex. Until the next story, hold on to hope, because your story matters. These scars may be unseen, but their stories will never be forgotten. Thank you for listening, my dear listeners. And remember, you are not alone in your scars. Scars remind us where we've been, but they do not define where we're going. See you all in next story.